And action. What is up, guys? Welcome to the Faith and Folklore podcast, or just Faith and Folklore. I'm one of your hosts, Tobias Okerlund, and I'm here with my aunt, Auntie Katie.
Hello.
We wanted to start this podcast because about a year ago, me and Katie I was taking Katie to the airport to go back to where she was living at the time. And we just talked for the whole drive about spiritual things, demons, Bigfoot. And at the end of the conversation, we were like, we should start a podcast. It was kind of a joke at the time, but we now are doing it.
Here we
So,
are.
yeah.
Joked on us, I guess.
Yeah, be careful what you joke about, I guess,
Yeah.
because it will happen. But yeah, so we just wanted to start this podcast. We're both Christians also, so we're looking at anything that we look at through that lens of Christianity, that lens of that just lens of religion and Christianity. And another reason why we wanted to do it, like start the podcast, is because in the church, in Christianity specifically, not so much in Catholicism, but in Christianity, the spiritual side of our religion is not really looked at, or the spiritual side of anything is very, for some reason, looked down upon almost, and not talked about. Like, they don't talk about, I mean, it's silly, but like aliens and Bigfoot and all these things, and if it's okay to like think about conspiracy theories or the giants or anything like that. All this stuff is in the Bible, giants, Nephilim, all of these things, but we don't ever take the time to really talk about it and do like actual discussions on. And sometimes it's very much like, oh, it's all just metaphorical. Everything in the Bible is metaphorical, which it's not. And if you look at it like that, then so much of it can just be like, not like noise, almost like so many things. So we wanted to start this, for one, to just talk about it like with ourselves, but then also to talk about it so other people who might be thinking about it can know that like it's okay to think about it and like have these kind of questions. So yeah, that's why we're starting this, and we hope you guys enjoy.
Yes, we do. We're excited. If
Yeah.
anything, like we said, we're just excited to get to chat with each other for,
Yeah.
30 minutes
30 minutes.
every once in a while
Yeah, every once in a while about.
about cool stuff.
Yeah.
We have some really cool, that sounds so lame, but we have some really interesting subjects that we do want to dive into.
Yeah.
That I'm really pretty stoked about just over the next couple of months. Things that I'm like, I can't wait for this month and that month so that we
Yeah.
can start to get into that kind of stuff too. So
Yeah, definitely.
this
Uh,
month
yeah,
in
this month.
October,
Yes.
and because of my love for this holiday, we chose Halloween.
Yes.
Again, it's a holiday that I've always loved. So, of course, any chance to get to talk about it or um, research it, just dive deeper into it, for me is exciting. But it also is one of those Christian topics that I feel like people shy away from.
Yes,
Um,
definitely.
so we're excited to get to talk about the origin story this episode. And then in the coming episodes, 2 more this month, we're going to kind of go more into the modern ways that we celebrate it and like where some of those traditions came from, and then just like kind of funny stuff that we've learned along the way. And then
Yeah.
the last episode of the month is going to be about, what does the Bible actually have to say about Halloween? Is it something that we should completely avoid? Is it something that it's okay to take a part of, or just where can we stand? And or where can Toby and I stand on it? And
Yeah.
then you can kind of make your own educated decision based off of some
what we
cool stuff we're
yeah,
gonna tell
some of what we have to say. You can decide that we are wrong and
you. Yes.
that we're going to hell.
Yes. And let us know,
Yeah.
and that that'll be that.
Yeah. Okay. So Katie is, like she said, the expert on the Halloween stuff. I dress up and trick or treat. That is my grasp of Halloween, really.
Mhm.
So it's going to be, for this episode, it's going to be very much me learning about this stuff alongside you guys. So it'll be fun for me, just a newcomer, to kind of have my opinions and ideas, and her, the genius and the scholar of this,
Yeah,
to
I'm just kinda
correct me.
weird. I
Yeah,
just like I just
she's a
like it.
weirdo.
I'll be at the gym on the treadmill, and I'm listening to a podcast about Halloween, and
Halloween
there's
podcast.
some really good ones out there. So,
It's true.
if you like this one, search around, find
Find
others.
another one.
Because I could do probably an entire podcast about Halloween, but
Yeah.
we do have other interesting things to talk about,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I won't, um but
Next
yeah,
podcast.
I do really enjoy, the holiday. I always have, I liked trick-or-treating as a kid. Um, I would usually choose, like a more creepy costume, not so much like the cute or, like, pretty stuff. I think
Mhm.
my go-tos were, like, this ghost that my sister Toby's mom, would paint my face for. I just loved it. I thought it was, like, so great. It was
That's
like this
awesome.
white ghost with blue eyeshadow, and I just
Mhm.
thought I was so cool. And, I also really liked a bat costume that I had. I did that
Oh, I remember
for
that. I
quite
think
a few.
we
Yes,
have that costume.
yeah,
Yeah.
we passed that thing down through
Yeah.
the generations, so
That's
that
so true.
thing's
Oh my gosh. That
pretty
thing
awesome.
has
It's like
been
a
worn and
full
torn.
footsie with hands and wings, and it's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always loved that, and then thinking about it today, and my first, like, job
Mhm.
was at a farm in the town where Toby and I grew up, and I was probably like 8, 9, 10, a child, and you would walk around the pumpkin patch, and when people, like, bought their pumpkins and then were gonna walk their pumpkins to their car, I
Mhm.
would go up and be like, "Hey, can I bring your pumpkins to your car for you?" And I would wheelbarrow their
Oh my
pumpkins
gosh.
to their car. So it wasn't like an hourly paid position. It was like
Yeah.
you got paid whatever the family would get, a dollar or whatever would
Yeah.
tip you to bring, um to wheelbarrow their pumpkins to their
Wow.
car. So,
Was that at Mortimer Farms? Was that
Young's. It was at Young's farm.
it was a different Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't know that there was
Yeah.
another farm. Wow.
Mhm. Yeah, we're
That's
talking
awesome.
90s. We're talking the 90s
We're
here,
talking
when child
decades.
labor was still,
Was still okay.
acceptable. Um, but yeah, those are my actually, I was at a pumpkin patch today.
Really? Bro,
Yes.
I need to go to one. Literally,
I got 2
I
pumpkins.
when we got here to Tennessee, because we
Mhm.
just moved to Tennessee, folks. But I was like, wait a minute. Is there like a pumpkin patch here? Like, cause
Right.
I mean, of course there are, now that I
Right.
know,
But
but
you
like,
know where they are
yeah, like the thought of like
prior.
not knowing like where the pumpkin
It's
patch is
kinda
and like where to
scary.
get a yeah, I was like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, because it's such a tradition to,
Mhm.
I mean, just get like a pumpkin and carve it. I
Yeah.
was worried, but yeah,
Have you found one?
yeah, I
Do
need
you know
to,
where there is? I mean, you have a couple weeks,
yeah,
so pumpkin
I have to
stress
get
hasn't
prepared.
set in fully
Yeah,
yet,
not
but
yet.
I'm sure by your house, there's probably some really cute ones,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I think so. I think so. I
super
need
cute.
to talk to my mom about it, get her to
Yeah,
get the family together and do it, but
and do it. Yeah.
yeah.
It is fun. It was so hot today, I was kinda sad about it, actually. It was like, I think I got sunburnt, actually. Not like the pumpkin patch experience that you want, really,
And
where you're like, "I'm
yeah,
actually sweating."
boiling.
boiling. I
Yeah.
told Corey on the way home, I was like, I can't wait for the sun to go down. I want it
Yeah.
to be dark. Like,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It got chilly today. It was nice. It was so nice.
nice,
But yeah.
nice. Fall is coming soon.
Yeah, it is. It's here.
Hopefully, it's here. Yeah,
Yeah.
technically, it's here. I guess
Yeah, technically.
weather doesn't know it, but yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
Okay,
get?
guys, we're rambling.
We're
Sorry,
rambling now.
guys.
Okay, we are gonna dive
Yeah, we're
in
gonna dive straight into this
to this
Halloween
deep, bottomless
pit of
hole
Halloween.
pit of Halloween. Um, yeah, we're just gonna jump in to the origin story of Halloween.
Yes.
Something that I didn't know of until I got really into learning about it. And I don't think a lot of people, they might have ideas.
Mhm.
Probably a lot of their ideas are maybe kind of slightly on point, but sometimes they're just totally off point. Like
Yeah.
they think it's a holiday that the devil invented or something
Yeah.
along those lines. And it's far from that. So if that's what you think, I'm here to clear up that
Yeah.
misinformation for you
Yeah.
and maybe teach you something really beautiful about it. We'll see. But
Yeah.
anyways, we're going to dive in. We're going to go back in time over 2,000 years ago.
Way back.
To way back. We're going way back. 2,000 years ago to Northern Europe. I'm going to be kind of glancing over here, looking at some notes because I want to try and get this information at least as close to accurate as possible. I guarantee I will mess something up, but at least if I can, get it generally right, we'll get
Yeah.
less hate later, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anywho's, yes, we're going to Northern Europe where the Celts lived. They were just living, thriving, doing their thing. Today, the Celtic, well, I guess I should say side note. The Celts, sorry, my throat. Probably really loud and terrible sounding. Okay. The Celts are a vast collection of tribes that are spread out across Northern Europe, all the way down to Turkey, to Spain. They were kind of all over Europe and through different things kind of got pushed more to the northern part of Europe. But as of today, the 6 Celtic nations are Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Isle of Man, Cornwall, and Brittany. And they are the surviving Celtic nations because they actually still have a specific language to themselves.
Okay.
So there might be other Celts still down in Spain and different things, but their language has been lost along the way, which is kind of sad, really.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when language gets lost, folklore gets lost. So we're lucky that at least those 6 way up in the northern part of Europe, they're still going. So that is what I mean when I say Celtic. That's what I'm kind of talking about. And with that being said, there are 6 nations that we're talking about. So they're all going to have a different language, a little bit of a variation of their stories, their traditions, their religions, that kind of stuff. So we're grouping them all into one category, but if you spoke to someone from Scotland versus someone from Ireland, they might have a similar story, but they are going to have their own kind of cool like tweaks and that kind of stuff. So another rant, and I should turn the volume down on my phone. But that is pretty much what I have to say about the Celtic nations. Let's go back to 2,000 years ago. It's May 13th, 2,000 years ago, and we are about to have a giant party. It's going to be awesome. Tonight is Samhain, the celebration of the ending of summer or the ending of the harvest season and the beginning of winter. And for those of us who've lived in a cold climate or are living in a cold climate, you know that the beginning of winter means the beginning of dark, long, freezing nights. Your plants die, if whatever you didn't harvest in your crops, they're gonna be gone.
Yeah.
You might have livestock that dies. It's like the truth of winter, even probably still today, but especially in that day, was like you might not survive the
Yeah.
winter.
Yeah.
Or you might, but someone in your family might. So it was kind of the beginning of like a darker period of the year. And so Samhain was a time to celebrate the amazing harvest that you had and kind of get prepped and ready for the darker part of winter.
Yeah.
They also, well, it's one of 4 Gaelic seasonal holidays that include Imbolc, Beltane, and Lunasa, and then Samhain was the fall harvest holiday. So
Okay.
During Samhain, it was believed that as these 2 seasons coincided, so also did the day of the living and the night of the dead. So you had
Okay.
this merging of life and death, life of harvest, death of winter, life of people still alive, and then death of family members or just spirits that were no longer alive, kind of
Gotcha.
coinciding.
Yeah.
So the veil between those 2 worlds thinned, and they believed it was possible at that time for dead spirits or spirits to enter into the world of the living.
Okay.
Kind of
Gotcha.
reminiscent of Dia, Dia de los Muertos or Day of
Yeah.
the Dead. Similar idea.
Yeah.
It was a time of year that was awesome because if your grandma wanted to pay you a visit and she had already passed on, you knew she might come by, and that's kind of cool. But it also meant that there could be some really spooky kind of bad spirits
Yeah.
also coming in. So they would do things like set out like not an offering, but like a food or a drink
Yeah.
offering of sorts, I guess you could say,
Mhm.
for loved ones. And
Mhm.
then they also did things to help protect themselves and their families against more of the bad spirits.
The dark
So
spirits,
the
yes.
dark spirits, exactly. So it was kind of like welcoming the good, welcoming home grandma and grandpa, but then also protecting yourself against some of the eviler side of things.
Yeah.
So they would do things like wear animal furs and
Okay.
animal heads. Um,
Mm. 'Cause was that because of them, like, not wanting to be recognized? Was
yeah,
that it? Okay, yeah.
yes,
That I
exactly.
thought I heard some that okay, yeah, I've
Yeah.
heard that before.
Yes, to, like,
Yes.
not recognize or
Yeah.
kind of, like, confuse or distract them, like, "Oh, is that a spirit,
Interesting.
or is that
Yeah. Is
Toby
that one of us?
wearing
Yeah. Wearing a
a
sheep's head.
sheep's head?" Like, "I don't know. I'm just gonna go to the next house
Yeah, I don't wanna
and
risk it.
don't wanna risk it." Yeah, and then that kind of, as we'll talk more next week, I think led in
To
to,
wearing
or at least
cos
influenced,
okay,
yeah,
yeah,
Halloween
wearing
costumes.
costumes. Interesting, okay.
So, it goes way back, people,
Yeah.
way back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, they would do things like that. Like, another really big, tradition that they would do is have massive communal fires.
Mhm.
Um, one, just because that's fun. They would dance and
Yeah,
feast, and you have the fires going, but also it was a way to push back against the darkness that was settling in. You
yeah,
are lighting all these fires. The bad spirits aren't like down for the light and the fires, so they're gonna
yeah.
um, tend to stay away. And then I think people would take some of the wood from the massive fires and bring them back to their home and then use those fires in their own hearth. And as
Okay.
long as they kind of like kept burning that wood, it would just continue to protect their families from
Nice.
evil
Okay.
and all that kind of jazz.
Very
So,
interesting.
um, we will get a little bit more into some of those like the things like the costumes and other things like
Yeah.
that next episode.
Next episode, so stay tuned. Be ready,
Stay
guys.
tuned. Traditions of like the jack-o'-lantern, trick-or-treating,
Yes.
sacrifice,
Candy
just
corn.
candy corn, which
Oh, come on.
huh?
Dang it.
I know. You still didn't get
Man.
a bag?
No, I haven't gotten any. I need to go to the
Mm,
store.
yeah,
Man.
you gotta go. It's good.
So good.
It's got like that perfect mallow
Uh,
squish.
yes. Man, just thinking about it. Yeah,
Mm,
also, guys, comment down below if you like candy
yes,
corn because there's a debate about it. And
big
I
time.
mean, we are very much pro candy
Obviously,
corn,
pro.
obviously. So much
So much
so
candy
much
corn right
candy
here.
corn.
I keep like looking at it.
Uh,
I'm like, oh, it's
oh
right there.
man.
It's so close. It's right there. But yeah,
Uh,
comment. Are you team candy corn or not
yeah.
team candy corn? And if so,
Tell us why.
that's
I
why.
don't get why people don't like candy corn.
I don't get it. You can try and explain it to us. And if you don't, then like, what is your
What's your
Halloween
Halloween
candy?
candy? Yeah. Yeah.
Because I can't really think of another.
Yeah. I mean, like you can take like a candy and make it like the shape of a pumpkin, but it's not the same.
Right. Yeah. But is a Reese's a Halloween candy if it's just shaped like a pumpkin, or is it just a Reese's that's
Yeah,
shaped like a
it's
pumpkin?
just a Reese's trying to
Yeah.
be candy corn.
Yes, exactly. And that's not. Well,
It's not.
anyways, I digress
We
off the candy
digress.
corn thing.
Yes.
We're gonna fast forward a few hundred years in our history timeline to
Okay.
when the Romans started to wipe out the world and dominate. And this was or obviously not pre-Christianity. This was about the time of Jesus kind of starting out his ministry. So there was
Mhm.
Judaism, obviously, at that time. And then there was the Romans who had their whole own mythology and views of gods and goddesses. And as they started to take over pretty much Europe and everything that they could, they weren't Catholic yet. It wasn't a thing. So
Yeah.
as they moved across and started wiping out nations, what they brought with them was more of their mythology, um, religion. That's probably not the right word to use. Mythology, religion. I don't know.
Mythology, religion. Mythology. Mm,
Mythology.
yeah, mythology.
Mythology. So they brought that with them, and their goal was to obviously wipe out the Celts. They saw them as barbarians, people that had there was no need for them. So they wanted to wipe
Yeah.
out their people and then wipe out their traditions. And they got pretty far up. They got as far up as England
Mhm.
and did a pretty good job kind of taking things over, but they didn't get all the way to Scotland or Ireland, which is really why we still have any of the Halloween traditions that we do.
Mhm.
Because if they had, I mean, I'm sure some things would have continued to slip through the cracks and work its way down, but it would have been, I think, very much altered to
Yeah.
more of the Roman idea because they had their whole own harvest festival thing that they did
The
at that
Romans
same
did.
time of
Okay.
year.
Interesting.
Which we could do a whole episode on that. But yeah, they
Mhm.
had a whole thing that was like wild. They had wild parties. I mean, way more wild than the Celts. They like really got down with the wine and
They
got
went
crazy.
crazy. You know how the
So
Romans can be.
they get nutty. So I will say though that they did have a potential influence on Halloween. I don't know how much based in fact this is, but the god of or the goddess of their harvest festival,
Mhm.
a Demeter, probably saying that wrong. The goddess Demeter, she was
Yeah.
their goddess of the harvest, um, and also of the cycle of life and death. So kind of interesting, harvest mixed with
Yeah.
life and death. But her thing was harvest and food, and mainly apples. And so they say that
Ah,
that bobbing for apple
came from
Halloween
that.
tradition
Yeah.
came more from the Roman god Demeter and her
Interesting.
Apple influence.
Her Apple
She was
obsession.
an influencer.
Oh my gosh. Influencers
Back in
back in the
the
time. Oh my gosh. Back
day.
in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So the Romans kind of may or may not have influenced Halloween. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they might have had a part in it. Then we can fast forward a couple more 100 years. Now we've got Catholicism really full blown doing its thing. We've got it was May. Oh, wow. I think let's rewind here. Way back. I'm taking some stuff back here. The beginning of this episode, when I said 2,000 years ago in May, that was not right. I meant 2,000 years ago, October. So just get that out of your head.
Let's
Okay.
rethink this, guys.
Let's
Okay.
rethink this. Samhain is October. Okay. So shoot me.
Okay.
2,000 years ago, Samhain was celebrated in and around the end of October.
Okay.
Now, we're going way back over here now to 609 AD in May. This is where the mix-up came from. May 13th, 1609,
Okay.
609 AD. Pope Boniface IV dedicated the Roman pantheon to the martyrs who had died for their faith and called the day All Martyrs' Day. And it was a day to kind of commemorate and celebrate the men and women who died for Catholicism.
Okay.
Yeah, on Martyrs' Day. Then we're going to fast forward another 200 years. We got a new pope. Not sure what his name is, but we got a new guy in town. And they move All Martyrs' Day to November 1st.
Okay.
And they also add saints into the mix. So now we're celebrating and commemorating the martyrs that have died, the saints who also mostly have died. I guess they were celebrating saints that were alive. I don't know. Is that a thing? Not sure. But we've got saints, we've got martyrs. We've got it on November 1st. And they changed the holiday name from All Martyrs' Day to All Saints' Day, which I believe in parts of Europe is still celebrated. Not in like Halloween ways, but still celebrated. The saints are still celebrated.
Yeah,
as
definitely.
Toby said, we're not Catholic, so might not have that totally right, but
we don't got the Catholic stuff
we
down.
don't got the Catholic stuff down. Sorry.
We can do this.
But yeah, we can do this. All Saints Day, November 1st. I know that much. And then this is where it kind of gets a little iffy when I was doing my research, because you've got All Saints Day, and then somewhere along the way, another holiday was added called All Souls Day on November 2nd.
Okay.
All Souls Day was a day that was celebrated for the souls that were stuck in purgatory.
Oh, okay.
So not dead, not alive, just stuck in purgatory. And what they would do on All Souls Day is kids and adults, but mostly kids, would go door to door, knock on the door. They wouldn't say trick or treat, but they would potentially do some kind of they'd sing or maybe do like a dance or something funny. And what they would ask for is food or money. And in return, they would say that they were going to pray for that family's deceased loved ones who might be in purgatory. So it was like, hey, knock, knock, give me some food and I'll pray for your uncle who we know like was good, but not that good.
Kind of rough around the edges. So
kind of like uncles are a lot of times. But we'll pray for him. And they'd be like, cool, here's some money, here's some food. Specifically, here is something called a soul cake, which honestly
Oh,
I want to make. Maybe
yeah.
we'll link the recipe down below.
We'll
It's
have a
like
we'll have a baking show, guys.
cinnamon and like sugar and nutmeg and raisins. I don't know. It sounds really good. Maybe
That
it's
does
not,
sound good.
but
I
they would
mean,
give them these soul cakes. And
interesting.
supposedly, when you ate the soul cake, a soul that was stuck in purgatory would be released. So pretty
Interesting.
powerful, powerful
Yeah,
cake.
that's a powerful cake. Holy
Yeah,
crap. Who
kind
knew
of crazy.
raisins could do
I
some
know. I
crazy
mean,
things?
raisins are pretty wild. Put them on celery, put them in a soul cake.
Yeah.
Just
Careful with
never know what's
raisins, guys. That's
yeah.
really interesting. Okay, so they would like go around
Mhm.
praying for people and giving
Mhm.
money. Okay.
Yeah, getting money, getting food, kinda like trick or treating, but not,
Yeah, kind of.
but
So
a
how
version
many
of it.
how
That was a
many
Catholic,
Catholic trick-or-treating Halloween thing?
yeah, thing.
Harvest thing. Okay.
Harvest time.
So
Yeah.
how many different celebrations do we have? We have what do we have so far? We
We've
have
got Samhain on
Samhain
the 31st of
of
October.
October. Okay.
We've got All Saints' Day, the 1st of November, All Souls' Day, the 2nd of November,
Okay.
and I guess something I
Kind of Day of the Dead, I guess.
yes,
What is it
exactly.
called? What
Yeah, Dia de los Muertos
Dia de
going
los
on in
Yes.
Latin America.
Yes.
Um, yeah, there's so many different cultures who celebrate in and
Basically the
around.
same thing, a
Yes.
harvest style
Mhm.
thing. Interesting. Okay.
Which yeah, and that they've been doing it for a really long time.
Yeah.
So, and then I believe where the Halloween name came from was because all Martyrs Day or All Saints Day was also called Hallows Mass or Holy
Yes.
Mass, Hallows Mass, and then Halloween was obviously the eve of Hallows Mass, and so then they shortened it to Hallows Even, so the eve of All Hallows Day,
Yeah.
and then Halloween with an apostrophe between the two e's. Then eventually, that's Halloween. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Halloween. Halloween. Yeah.
Halloween. So it became Halloween, which really translates in essence to the eve of All Hallows Day, and they just kind of layered that over the top of Samhain, and we're
Yeah.
like, we're gonna get rid of that name because it's pagan. It's a pagan
Hmm.
holiday. We're Catholic. We're not doing that,
We'll
and
still do it, but we're
let's
just gonna
do it.
change the name.
We'll change the
Yeah.
name to Halloween, which
Yeah.
honestly, I love that name. Good
Yeah.
job, them.
Good job, Catholicism.
Yeah, you're good at naming
You're
things.
good at names. You're good at names.
Yeah,
You're good at buildings.
yeah,
That Pope guy
truly.
kind of scares me, but hey.
But hey,
But hey.
if you're listening to this,
And you're
comment below.
Catholic.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
you're the Pope. Comment down below.
Hey, Pope, if you're listening to this, comment down
Let
below.
us know your thoughts.
Comment down
From what
below
I
your favorite Pope.
saw, from my research, the Pope is still definitely very anti-Halloween. He has some strong things to say about that.
Interesting.
So, again, if you're Catholic or any other religion, I'd love to know your take on, like, your personal religious take on the holiday, and if
Yeah.
you
If you
don't
celebrate
celebrate
it.
it, why
Your
not?
reason why, yeah.
And if you do, then why do you feel like inclined to do that?
Yeah. We'll talk about it in the next episode. We'll try
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
Yeah.
we will. We'll tap into those
We'll laugh about your opinion. I'm just kidding.
in
I'm just
front of
kidding.
you.
Yeah.
Actually, if you're listening to this, then you are not obviously seeing us, but you can find us on YouTube
On YouTube,
and
yes.
watch us. We're pretty
And
good
if you're
looking.
listening, I mean, if you're watching, you can go just listen and then you don't
Mhm.
have to look at us.
Yeah,
We're two studs, but
yeah. You probably
sometimes
wanna
the
look at us, but
yeah,
at
I
the
don't know
same
why you
time, I
wouldn't.
get it. When I'm at the gym, I'm usually not watching. I mean, I don't know. I sound like I'm always at the gym. I'm really not at the gym that
Yeah, the
often.
2 times that you I'm
Literally,
just at the
the
gym
2
a
times
lot.
I've been at the gym, I wasn't watching YouTube. I was listening to a
listening
podcast.
to a podcast. Yeah.
So, you know,
It
everyone
is
has
way
their
easier to
time
just
and
listen
place.
to things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Find us on both and on
Yeah.
Instagram.
And Instagram. You can email us at our email.
Yes.
Um,
Podcast at
Faith and Folklore.
faithandfolklore.com. And
Yes.
our Instagram is Faith and Folklore.
Yeah.
Possibly with the word podcast in there.
Faith and Folklore podcast.
Look for
I,
both. You'll
yeah,
find our
just
picture.
look it up.
Yeah. If you whoever else you find, they're probably pretty cool too.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, but definitely follow us.
Yeah, but definitely choose us over
More
them.
closely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But
We're just rambling. Oh my
we're
gosh.
rambling.
Sorry, guys.
That's kind of it on the like way back history. There's like
Yeah.
some really hilarious stuff that happened in the like 1800s, 1900s that we'll talk about next episode.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of how it like developed and morphed and took on weird things along the way, lost things.
Mm.
Candy corn stuck in my tooth right now. But yeah, for history and the origin, that's what we've got for you. So
Yeah.
it didn't come from the devil. I guess I want to talk about that for a second. The devil himself was never a part of the traditional holiday. They did have the Celts did have a god that had to do with life and death, and he was brought up and talked about during the holiday of Samhain, because again it was a celebration of harvest and then leading into death, but it wasn't the devil, because the Celts hadn't ever been introduced at that point to Jesus, to God, and in turn the devil, angels, demons, none of that. They weren't like, oh, that whole Jesus thing sounds interesting, pretty cool, but instead, actually, I'm going to go and sacrifice my
I'm gonna
dog
do the opposite thing. Yeah. It's not
to,
like today if you were to, I mean, like, because it's not like nobody, like, especially in America, specifically in
yeah,
America,
which is where
it,
we're at. So we're speaking
yeah,
to that.
we're speaking on that. Who Jesus and all of that is, about that. And if you choose to then go and worship the devil, then it's
That's
wrong in
on
that
you.
sense. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
on you.
Or
But
for
yeah,
them, you kind of got to give them, like, I don't know, the benefit of the doubt, a little bit of
yeah,
grace. Like they hadn't ever been given the choice to choose one way or the other.
yeah,
This is just how they were raised, what they knew, and they were just kind of like doing their thing until new ideas were brought into their cultures, and they didn't necessarily fight against it. I mean, they didn't want to die from the Romans, but they
hmm
didn't like, there's a lot of Christian Irish people out there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
definitely, definitely.
they didn't
Yeah,
fight back against it so much. Like
yeah,
they took it on, they're still doing their thing, whatever, but it's not
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I don't know. I think you get what I'm trying to say.
yeah. It's not like they didn't find out about it and then still choose to go against it.
Mhm.
And maybe some did, because I
Right,
mean
right.
that always does happen, but they
Yeah.
some chose to follow
Mhm.
God, and maybe some were following God in a sense,
Mhm.
but who
Yeah.
knows? But
Yeah.
yeah, there's some verse somewhere that's in the Bible, and it says something like, sin is when a man knows what he's doing is wrong and he
Mm.
chooses to do it anyway, or something like that. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, if you don't have the moral, like, idea of, like say, like, I don't know, like, in in America, if you kick a dog, you go to prison, but in another country, if you don't
Mhm.
know kicking a dog is bad and you kick a dog, it's not
Right.
nothing's gonna happen to you, and you don't know it's bad either.
Right.
So, you're not gonna get the consequences, but
Mhm.
if that makes any sense. But yeah,
Yeah, totally, just like cultural variations. You don't know
cultural
what you don't
differences,
know
yeah.
until you know,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
then you decide one way or the other what you're gonna do with that knowledge, which is kind of what we're doing now. Like,
Yeah.
you could hear this and think like, okay, no, I still just don't really want to celebrate that holiday. And
Yeah.
that's like fine. We don't
Yeah.
really care what
Yeah.
you do.
Not
Or you
especially
might hear
me.
it. Yeah, or maybe we do. Or maybe you hear it and you're like, okay, cool. I don't have to feel so guilty
Yeah.
about letting my kids trick or treat
Yeah.
or um carving a pumpkin if I want
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
because it's not actually devil worship.
Yeah.
You
And
would
you're
think.
not you can't l you're not letting a demon in if you go
Yes.
trick or treating.
Yes.
You, as a Christian, specifically talking Christian here, to the Christian families, you are saved by the blood of Jesus, so
Mhm.
that m makes it so that a demon, unless you specifically, like, let a demon enter
Mhm.
you and say
Yes.
that, like, they can come
Invite
in,
them
they
in.
cannot they cannot come in
Mhm.
and to you and mess you up or do anything to you. You are
Yeah.
protected by God and by the blood of Jesus. So,
Yeah.
celebrating, Halloween, if it is a satanic thing, even if it is,
Mhm.
that you are still protected. You don't you and you going into it with, like, the light of Jesus might even protect somebody else in a sense
Mhm.
from darkness. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you're
So true.
not you're not putting yourself in danger by doing that, and you're not gonna let a dark spirit into you and make it
Mhm.
make you go to hell. You're gonna be
Yeah.
fine.
You're gonna
I don't know, but I think
Yeah.
Jesus is a little bit more powerful than the demons,
Yeah.
so
I think. I'm thinking
that's just an idea. I don't know.
we'll just throw that out there into the
He did
internet.
rise from the dead. That is something that he did do, so I think a little
Yeah.
demon's good
Yeah.
gonna be okay, guys.
Flick 'em
Yeah, literally.
into the universe.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, so this episode, like we said, it was the history of Halloween. Next
Mhm.
episode, we'll get into, nowadays stuff and maybe a
Mhm.
little bit more history, more 1900s, uh, kind
Mhm.
of stuff, but yeah, so this first episode, yeah, it was just the history and stuff of
And it
Halloween.
was our first episode,
Yes,
as
it
Toby
was the
said.
first episode of the podcast.
Yeah, so
So,
woo-hoo!
woohoo! Welcome to whoever is
Welcome.
listening. Yeah,
Yeah,
welcome to
we're so
the
glad you're here.
yeah, we should come up with a name for the people that are listening.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, ghouls. I don't know.
Ghosties and ghouls.
Ghosties and ghouls,
Hello
welcome back. Welcome back,
to
ghosties.
candy corn people.
Welcome back, children of the corn.
Children. Oh, wait, that's pretty good.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna be thinking about it.
Have you seen that horror movie, Children of the
Actually,
Corn?
no, I
Me
haven't.
neither, me either.
Might be one we gotta watch.
Oh, one we're gonna watch? Oh,
Yeah.
is do we do something with watching movies, Katie? Oh,
Actually,
maybe we do. We
oh,
might.
we
Maybe.
might do that.
We
There
might
might be something really
there
cool
might be
where we
something.
watch movies and then you almost like those listening kind of like get to kind of join us in a way.
Maybe? Maybe?
Yeah,
Is there something like that? Maybe?
there might
I don't
be.
know. Maybe you guys will find out in
Yeah,
later times.
then a later date
On
at
a
a
later
later
date, in a later
moment.
hour. But
Keep your
yeah,
eye out.
guys. Yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Children of the Corn.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
Well, and if you're
guys.
still
Oh
listening
my
at this
gosh.
point, thank
Yeah.
you so
Thank you
much.
for making it
Yeah,
to 43 minutes
minute.
in of us kind
Yeah.
of rambling at the beginning and then getting it back on
Rambling at
track.
the
There
end.
will be
Oh, yeah.
rants in this,
Yeah.
guys.
We
The
are
original name for this was gonna be Spiritual Rant.
yeah.
So that's how much
Yes.
you know that
That's how
we
much
rant.
ranting Toby
That's
and
how
I
much
do.
ranting we do,
So
okay?
we are trying to keep that
Yeah.
to a
Yeah.
minimum for us.
Yes.
Um,
But that's also what this is, guys. That's
yeah,
what the
it's off
podcast
the cuff,
is.
it's unscripted, which
Yeah.
keeps it, loosey
Keeps it
goosey,
interesting, keeps
keeps
it
it interesting,
loose. Yeah.
keeps you on your
It's nice.
toes.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, thank you for listening to the first episode. Thank you for subscribing. If you're not
Yes.
subscribed, please subscribe. I think you can like do a 5-star thing on like the podcast app. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yes.
Do that. That really does help the algorithms like get it going and like this video.
Yes,
That
please.
helps the algorithm and share it if you thought it was that interesting.
Yeah.
We said all this stuff earlier. Follow the Instagram, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, this is the first episode. You're here. You're with us. This is a
It's
journey,
big,
a new thing. So it's very exciting.
super exciting.
You have anything you want to say, Katie?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, just everything, all the thanks.
Yeah.
It's October 7th, so if you haven't got yourself to a pumpkin patch yet, you better,
Better
you
get
know,
over there.
consider doing that.
That's me.
And
Yeah.
other than that, I don't
Eat
know.
some candy
Just
corn and
the candy corn.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Watch Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Watch all the classics. Watch.
Oh, there's so many. My list is so long.
Yeah, you should send me that because we watched like Edward Scissorhands last night, and
Oh,
that's
you
not even
did?
a like yeah, that's not like a crazy
No,
it's kind of creepy, but
but
it's
it's
not
good. Yeah.
Halloween, you know.
No, it's
Winona
not
Ryder.
themed towards that, but
Yeah, it's
it's
not Halloweeny.
in my list of things that I just like to watch in October
Yeah, it's a good
or
one.
any time of the year, but yeah, especially October. It's a good
Over the
one.
Garden Wall. I need to watch that with Jed. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah, definitely,
We could
definitely.
do an episode on Over the Garden Wall,
Yeah,
honestly.
I was thinking about that actually earlier
We
because
should.
there are so many rabbit holes you can go down with that
Yeah,
show.
definitely.
So
Yeah.
many little hidden wonders. So if you
Yeah.
haven't watched that show, watch it and
Yeah.
then
Watch Over the
keep an
Garden Wall.
eye out
That's an
for our
amazing.
podcast on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
Very
sorry guys. We just rambled
autumnal.
again.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, guys. We're going to end it here. Thank you for watching
Yeah.
and we'll see you in the next one.
Yes,
Peace
we
out, guys.
will. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Let's go. We did it.
We did it. Woo woo.